Thank you for joining me. I'm Dr. Cedrick, and today I want to talk to you about acid reflux and how you can prevent it. Before we start, I want to encourage you to follow me on social media and visit drcedrick.com for quality, affordable nutritional supplements. First, let's take a look at the digestive process. Digestion is a complicated process. That's because it involves several mechanisms. There's the physical act of chewing, followed by chemical digestion in your saliva, but mainly in your stomach. Then as the food travels through your intestines, the nutrients get absorbed, while the waste gets eliminated. Digestion requires both a physical and chemical breakdown of food. Here's an example of what it looks like. Digestion begins in the mouth, then food travels down your esophagus. It's further digested in the stomach. The food's nutrients are then absorbed in the intestines, while the waste is eliminated. Again, one more illustration of the concept of digestion. When it comes to acid reflux, about half of American adults experience it every month. That's about 60 million people. There are some key parts of the body we must look at in order to fully understand what's going on. The esophagus empties food into the stomach. You have two valves, the lower esophageal valve and the pyloric sphincter. The esophageal valve prevents food from going back up to your throat, while the pyloric valve keeps food from entering the intestines prematurely. Now the stomach has 3 layers of lining that protects it from the acid corrosion. Within the stomach, you also have bacteria and yeast that help us break down food. Now as food enters your stomach, the stomach stretches. There's a hormone known as Gastrin, which is released in response to the presence of food. Gastrin controls stomach cells and regulates the release of stomach acid. When it comes to stomach acid, there's something called the pH scale. It ranges from 0 to 14. The lower the pH, the more acidic, while the higher the pH, the more alkaline or basic. 7 is neutral. Normal stomach pH is around 2. Now, this is good enough to digest most food products, but not proteins. The stomach must then release additional enzymes called pepsinogen, which becomes pepsin, not Pepsi-Cola. Pepsin is more acidic and is thus able to break down proteins. Here's an illustration of digestive enzymes in action. These test tubes contain bits of chicken, and what we see is the potency of each enzyme. The lower the pH, the more complete the breakdown of food matter. Hydrochloric acid itself does not break down protein well in the first image. Pepsin does an incomplete job in the middle image, while the combination of pepsin and hydrochloric acid is very effective at breaking down protein. That's because they are very acidic together. Ideally, you want a stomach that has a very low pH, very acidic. Remember, the hormone gastrin, symbolized by the yellow fluid in the cup, causes stomach enzymes to be released. Now these stomach enzymes are hydrochloric acid and pepsin. If you already have strong stomach acid, there's very little need for more gastrin to be released. However, when you have weak or alkaline stomach, a lot of gastrin is then released, which means a lot of hydrochloric acid and a lot of pepsin will be released. Again, weak stomach acid means more gastrin release in order to increase pH, which means more stomach acid will be made. The excess release of these enzymes will corrode the exposed esophagus, the valve leading to heartburn. Now, of course, today's medical model says that heartburn is the production of too much acid, whereas instead, the truth is heartburn is due to weak acid. And so the body then has to make more of the weak acid. In truth, strong acid is healthy acid. Weak acid is unhealthy acid. And bacteria love weak acid. Again, weak acid or alkaline acid means you're going to have less food broken down. Now, this undigested food is just going to rot, and the pyloric valve will remain closed. Now, you have bacteria in your stomach, and these bacteria have access to the carbs, the sugars in your stomach, and they'll begin a process known as fermentation, which is simply the breakdown of carbohydrates. Now, this process is going to release gas, and the gas is going to push up on top of your upper valve and corrode your esophagus. What does it feel like when you have heartburn? Well, for starters, you're going to experience a sour taste, an acidic taste in your mouth. That's because you have corrosion about your esophagus, and it feels like it's climbing right back up your throat into your mouth. You have heartburn, which is that acid corrosion on the unprotected esophagus. Then when it really gets bad, you have something called dysphagia, where the body doesn't really want you to swallow anything. It can be accompanied with a dry cough. And when it really gets bad, you experience a sore throat. Symptoms of this are hoarse voice, and it can even damage your vocals. Now, these are severe symptoms in which you probably, at this point, need to get medical advice. Now, at Dr. Cedrick, we encourage prevention, usually with nutrition or supplementation, not simply treating the symptoms. However, when you go to your doctor for your acid reflux, he'll give you one of several things. Usually they'll start putting you on antacids, such as Tums or Alka-Seltzer, or even milk of magnesia. And if things progress and get worse, they might put you on histamine blockers. These slow down acid pumps in your stomach. Now, some examples are famotidine, which is Pepcid, cimetidine, which is Tagamet, and ranitidine, which is Zantac. And if things get so bad, you might be put on proton-pump inhibitors, which essentially inactivate your acid pumps. These are your omeprazole or Prilosec, pantoprazole or Protonix, and esomeprazole or Nexium. Now, these are not long-term solutions and can actually have drastic long-term side effects. For starters, when you block stomach acid production, you affect the absorption of certain nutrients. There are many vitamins and minerals that need an acidic environment in order to be properly absorbed in your system. Nutrients like zinc, iron, calcium, B12, folate, and many more. That means long-term, you can have side effects such as food sensitivity, poor healing, brittle nails and hair, intestinal and gut issues, even muscle and bone weakness, simply because you're no longer absorbing the nutrients your body needs in order to function properly. Let's break down what healthy stomach acid is. Now, stomach acid is called hydrochloric acid, or HCl. Now, the H hydrogen comes from water, and the Cl portion, chloride, comes from salt. Salt is known as sodium chloride. Chemically, it's NaCl. Now, the stomach cells need minerals in order to release strong stomach acid. Now, again, strong stomach acid is very acidic, and that's exactly what you want. Interestingly enough, minerals such as calcium, which is found in Tums, sodium, which is found in Alka-Seltzer, and magnesium, which is found in milk of magnesia, play an important role in the release of strong acid. Now, the stomach also needs water and salt in order to have a strong protective mucus layer. As we can see, hydrochloric acid, or HCl, comes from water and salt. Now, I understand we live in a world where there's a lot of misconception about salt, and I look forward to clarifying that in one of my upcoming videos. Again, a lot of the salt that we're eating is table salt, and it's not simply salt. It has added fillers and binders and sweeteners, such as silicate. Now, if you suffer from acid reflux or heartburn, there are several things you can do. Now, some lifestyle changes you can consider making include eating in smaller portion, losing weight, reducing overall stress, and maintaining good body posture throughout your day. Now, from a nutritional sense, it's important to address the nutrient deficiencies. Again, I mentioned earlier about the role minerals play in the release of strong acid. Now, you can also lower your carb intake. Again, excess carb in your gut allows your stomach bacteria to grow and proliferate and release that fermented gas, which can cause heartburn. You want to reduce the amount of sugar you take in. You want to drink more water. Again, because water plays a role in strong, healthy acid, but also in the protective stomach layer known as mucus. And you want to give your body proper enzymes and probiotic. You want to offset these negative bacteria, these bad and harmful bacteria, by enabling these probiotic to counter their effect. And you want to give yourself enzyme supplements in order to help facilitate the breakdown of certain foods. So why are we so deficient, especially in these minerals? Well, that's because today's modern farming techniques deplete our food from much of its nutrients. Techniques such as NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, which are essential for plant growth. However, these are 3 of the 60 key minerals the human body needs. Then there's the addition of pesticides, which adds to our chemical load. And then there's the process of genetically modified organisms from companies such as Monsanto. Adding foreign genes or DNA to foods in order to confer a certain ability. This is unnatural in nature. Now, much of our food today is becoming increasingly processed, and up to 80 to 90% of our corn crop is genetically modified. Again, many of us are eating GMO products because a lot of them are not labeled, not yet anyways. And then there's the overcooking and over grilling and over frying of our foods, the addition of free radicals into our system. And then there's the addition of preservatives, which overall adds to the body's chemical load. All of these and more deplete what I call the essential nutrients. Now, these are the 16 vitamins, 60 minerals, 12 amino acids, and 2 to 3 essential fatty acids that have been shown to play a crucial role in the optimal function of the body. Now, at Dr. Cedrick, our solution is simply to supplement our diet with these essential nutrients. And where can you get these nutritional supplements? Well, you can go to www.drcedrick.com. Once there, you'll find a plethora of naturopathic certified and affordable nutritional supplements. We offer quality minerals, probiotics, and digestive enzymes for your acid reflux needs. And I encourage you to like this video, share it with your friends and those who are struggling with acid reflux, and please subscribe.